All right, so you've probably seen the headlines, right? Those quick news flashes. But what's really going on, beneath the surface when something high profile like this happens? Today, we're doing a deep dive into an event that, well, it got worldwide attention. The recent airport arrest of Olympic sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson. We've got it a whole stack of detailed analyses, different reports, to really try and understand all the layers. We're talking the law, the actual evidence, public image, all of it. Our mission here is basically to cut through the noise, pull out the most important bits of knowledge from these sources, and give you a clearer picture.
That's absolutely right. And this isn't just, about one single incident. It's actually a pretty compelling case study of how law and the public spotlight collide, especially now in our super documented world. We're going to peel back the layers of what exactly happened at Seattle Tacoma International Airport, SeaTac, on August 11th, 2025, and hopefully reveal some of the crucial legal stuff and maybe the wider impacts too.
Okay, so let's set the scene then. August 11th, 2025, SeaTac Airport. We've got Olympic sprinters Sha'Carri Richardson and her boyfriend Christian Coleman. Reports say they were involved in some kind of domestic disturbance there. Officers respond, and Richardson ends up being arrested. The charge was fourth-degree domestic violence.
And what's really clear from the source materials we looked at is how fast the evidence they had right there shaped the immediate outcome, which is, a critical part of how these situations get handled on the ground in real time.
Yeah. In this case, it really throws a spotlight on visual evidence, doesn't it? Because we have two main types of footage here offering pretty different insights. First up, there's the general surveillance video from the terminal. What did that actually show?
Well, the surveillance video, according to the reports, was quite unambiguous. It apparently showed Richardson shoving Coleman multiple times, actually pushing him into a wall at one point, and also throwing something in his direction. So this objective visual evidence, along with statements from witnesses on the scene, that was absolutely critical. It's what allowed the officers to establish probable cause for making an arrest right then and there.
Okay, so that's the surveillance view, clear picture of the physical stuff happening. But then you have the body cam footage from the officers making the arrest.
Yeah.
And that often captures a very different reality, doesn't it? More the individual's perspective during the event. What did those body cams pick up about Richardson's statements, her demeanor during the arrest itself?
Right, so as she was actually being arrested, put in handcuffs, the body cam footage reportedly shows Richardson strongly denying any physical violence occurred. Her tone, apparently, went back and forth between protesting and just disbelief. She's quoted calling Coleman a coward, saying something like, "I'm going to jail because of you right now." And she kept insisting, "I'm not a criminal," asked them to take the cuffs off, even asked about bail procedures. It really brings up that contrast, doesn't it? How someone's own perception of what happened can be so different from, well, the objective evidence.
Yeah, and this leads us straight into a really crucial point about domestic violence law, particularly how it works in Washington state. Because Christian Coleman, her boyfriend, reports say he eventually declined to press charges against her. So given that, why did the arrest still happen? Wouldn't the victim saying no usually stop the whole thing?
Well, that's a really vital legal distinction and probably one of the key takeaways here. In Washington state, the law allows domestic violence charges to be pursued, even if the victim doesn't want to press charges. It all hinges on whether the officers have probable cause based on other evidence, like in this case, the video footage or maybe witness statements.
Wow.
So the officers, they reviewed that surveillance footage, they talked to witnesses, and that established enough probable cause for them to make the arrest. It happened completely regardless of Coleman's decision. It's a pretty powerful demonstration, really, that the legal process can move forward based on objective facts, based on evidence, rather than just relying on whether a victim wants to pursue it or not.
Okay, so the arrest definitely happened. The footage is out there now. But we're also seeing reports indicating the case might not even go to formal prosecution. So what does all this mean for someone like Sha'Carri Richardson, a public figure whose whole career is so tied up with their image?
Yeah, this case really highlights a very modern truth, doesn't it? For high-profile people, an arrest caught on camera like this, it often becomes the verdict, at least in the court of public opinion, long before any judge gets involved. That footage itself, it kind of becomes the lasting public record, and sometimes it completely overshadows whatever happens legally down the line.
And that's a huge shift, isn't it? It sort of suggests that even if charges get dropped later, or maybe someone's acquitted, The public story is already set. It's set by those initial visual facts. So what does that mean for, like, accountability outside the courtroom? Does an apology, like the one Richardson apparently issued later, does that really shift things? Or is the reputational damage kind of done in the public eye?
That is precisely the tension that the sources we looked at really emphasize. These significant reputational consequences that can just spring from an arrest itself, even without a formal conviction. It starkly highlights this tension between public image and evidence-based policing.
That's right.
So regardless of what a court eventually decides, that arrest, that body cam footage, it's going to live on. It's in the public record now.
Right. It's out there.
Exactly. It's a fascinating example, really, of how law enforcement decisions, which are guided by demonstrable facts, can sometimes just directly clash with a public figure's image, the one they've cultivated, or their own denials. This whole thing generated headlines worldwide, didn't it? Really showing how what's caught on camera often shapes the story long before a judge does.
And just to close the loop on her response, as you mentioned, she has since come out with an apology, vowing to seek help, take accountability for her actions. So clearly a move to address that court of public opinion you talked about. So wrapping this up, what really stands out to you in this deep dive? For us, I think it's just a powerful reminder. In this world where everything seems to be documented, the lines between the event itself, the legal process that follows, and how the public sees it, they're constantly being redrawn, aren't they?
Absolutely. And it raises a really important question, I think, for all of us. In an age where pretty much anything can be caught on camera, what does it really mean anymore to be innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah.
Especially when, as we've discussed, the court of public opinion often forms its verdict way before a judge even bangs a gavel. So something maybe for you to consider. How might objective evidence like this video footage reshape how we all understand accountability in public stories in the years ahead?